Hey, this is Chris from Guitarist Magazine.
And it's Lee from Andertons.
And we are here at Ibanez.
Ibanez
at the Namm 2015 in sunny Anaheim, California. And there's a lot of noise. It's all a bit crazy. So we're going to take you on a tour of the stand and you can see everything that's new for 2015. And you should really take a close look at this.
Quite possibly everybody's favourite drive pedal is now available in a miniature package. Unfortunately, Ibanez don't have one that we can try, so you'll have to wait for either a Guitarist Magazine review or a Chappers and the Captain review. But if this sounds anything like an original Tube Screamer, it's going to be a massively popular pedal.
So by all accounts, it has true bypass, it has the original 808 chip and all that.
So by all accounts, if you read the features, it says 100% analog circuitry and true bypass switching, and made in Japan. So, oh, that's good. And apparently in the UK it's going to be £69, which is just... Anyway, there we are. That's Christmas or birthday sorted.
It is. And as we've obviously seen Dunlop with the Mini Crybaby, yeah, it's that and that. It's like, you know, the coolest mini rig that I could possibly imagine.
What would you do? EP Boost, Tube Screamer,
yeah.
Mini Wah.
Yeah, maybe a couple of little TC ones, like the Hall of Fame Mini or something. Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a pedal board this big. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, let's go and look at some guitars.
Yes.
Let's start with the Joe Satriani, shall we? Are you a big Joe Satriani fan?
Do you know what? I'm going to surprise you now, and I'm going to say no, that I'm not.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me.
Having said that, obviously, you know, no one's going to argue that he hasn't been a huge player for many people who buy guitars in your shops, many people who read the magazine that I work for. And
he's about the only virtuoso solo guitarist instrumentalist that I can actually listen to without, you know, sort of getting a bit, you know, sort of bored. No, bored is the wrong word.
To be honest as well, out of all of those sort of technical guys, out of all of those solo virtuoso guys, his signature guitars I've always thought have been some of the coolest, because I quite like the contouring and the body shape, and that, you know, the chrome one, that was unbelievably cool, you know.
Yeah, they're one of the less Ibanez-y looking kind of signature models, aren't we? So, Joe has had his crayon set out for 2015 and has done 3 unbelievably limited models that you can see in this case here. If you can see dollar pricing, I believe the UK pricing is going to be about half that, but in pounds, obviously. Whether we'll see any of these in the UK, I don't know, but what you will see in the UK are these, which are sort of some of the more stock lines, and this is the newest one, the newest and also the lowest price one, which is the new JS140. Which has had its body upgraded or updated so that it's now the same sort of dimensions as the Japanese ones. Floyd trem, 2 pickups. He looks good on you, Chris, actually.
I feel like they've kind of like made that lower horn there even slinkier. It's all a bit, you know, it feels kind of more compact. I'm not sure if they have they done that?
It's a nice looking guitar, but we'll have these in Andertons soon, so we'll probably do a demo review on those. So anyway, I'll pop this back.
Yeah.
And let's go pointy. Oh no, we wanted to go around that side, didn't we? Sorry. It's like Benny Hill theme tune. Now,
we need to speed up the little middle bit.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. Other than somehow or other, this band is still absolutely huge, and this guitarist is still incredibly influential.
I think they're really huge because when you see them live, he fires rockets out of a guitar.
I think
so.
That's
Who doesn't want to see that?
And there is a vicious rumour around that this chap here buys these guitars from Japan, and
not this chap.
No, not this chap. Another chap smashes them up on stage and then sells them to super fans for even more than he paid for them, even though they were smashed up. But, I don't know, it's just a rumour. Maybe he doesn't. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure any of these are really my bag, so we may not have these in Andertons.
I could see you with the cracked mirror finish.
Maybe.
I think.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first mirror I've looked at that's cracked. Anyway, let's go into this stuff though. This inevitably will be in Andertons, because I think this is probably the coolest version of the JEM, at least in my opinion. It's my favourite finish of all the JEMs, and it's been reintroduced for 2015. at a fairly sensible price as well. I think it'll be just over £1,000.
I think there's a lot of guitar players of a certain age who are going to look at that, and that's really going to chime for them, and they're just going to want one, aren't they?
Yeah. 7-string?
Yeah. It's a lot of strings.
Yes, it's a lot of
yeah,
strings.
Yeah, struggle with 6.
Some might say one too many.
Yeah.
Nothing new on. Oh, yeah, there is something new on here. The new Fireman.
I've always thought this was great, by the way. I really like.
Yeah,
I love the shape.
I tried I tried the predecessor to this. Feel the neck on that.
It's big.
It's a whopper.
And he plays so fast.
I know.
With a neck like this.
I think I can exclusively reveal to YouTube land as well that Andertons will be doing a Paul Gilbert clinic in April. So follow our Facebook page or something, and we'll tell you when we know more. So nothing new other than that on there, but that's the FRM 150 TR, new for 2015.
Better known as the Fireman, I guess.
The face pose. It's important face pose. We should all need to do. Look at, there's a difference here. Look, face pout here. It's a pouty face, and then a rock face. Rock face does it for me. What's that? Oh.
Lots of strings.
No, but have you ever seen this concept of the fan fret?
I've actually, I had a demo, a fan fret baritone quite recently, and it was one of those things where it was kind of like, how has this happened? How have I ended up in this situation? But it was actually really fun to play because obviously you play completely differently. And once you kind of get past the fact that it looks incredibly strange, it feels quite natural, and I was really surprised. Although the sheer width of the neck is kind of semi-terrifying for somebody from a normal 6-string background, I think. But
so, well, these are both prototypes here, and I'm guessing that Ibanez will be gauging the feedback from the Namm show about whether they think these are worth putting into production. But it's like, what was that old? It's like one of those old pictures by those artists where, you kind of go around the stairs.
Hesher.
And then, who was it?
Hesher.
Yeah, it's like that.
Painting.
And you look at it and go, oh, it's all some weird perspective.
To be honest, after a couple of days at the Namm show, I'm just starting to think that it's my eyes and the guitar's completely straight.
But and just in case you're wondering, I'm sure you all know what the purpose of a fan fret is, but it's to do with the sort of the micro intonation, isn't it? Of just absolutely nailing the intonation as perfectly as possible. It doesn't look like that should work at all, does it?
Who would have thought that would have been a Keith Richards signature model?
Yes.
So that's probably the scoop of Namm.
It is, yeah. Yes. Although his has only got 5 strings on it. PWM, who's that likely to be? Bound to be a signature model?
Yeah, well, my knowledge of down-tuned extreme metal is so comprehensive that I can't believe that I haven't. Oh, there we
Wagner.
go. Is that guy between the Buried and Me?
Yeah, one of your favourite bands.
Well, those guys absolutely smash it at Download every year and things like that. So
do they really? Have you actually heard of them?
Do you know what? I have. I genuinely have, because I've been to the last few downloads and I'm aware of their work.
You're much cooler than I am. Let's go.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh. Oh, these are good. We like. So we can claim a little piece of this for Britain, can't we?
Yes, Tim Mills, amazing pickups, and it's really great actually to see a company like Ibanez using Tim's pickups because it just makes incredible sounding pickups. Those actually sound massive because I reviewed something very similar to that, but it didn't have the Evertune bridge, and those are just absolutely monstrous.
I don't think that's an Evertune bridge.
Is it not?
No.
Is that my eyes again?
I think it's just a tight or something. It says Titan. Just in case you're not sure what Chris is talking about, referring to Tim's pickups. Tim is the owner of Bare Knuckle pickups, which are a fabulous handmade pickup company down in Cornwall, not far from where you're based, are they?
No, not far, and similarly Celtic in origin. So yes.
Do you know what? There was do you remember when Fender released the Johnny Marr Jaguar?
Yeah, with bare knuckles.
With bare knuckles in them, and there was like an 18-month waiting list for that guitar, and we said to Fender, why are they taking so long to come through? And apparently it's because bare knuckle couldn't physically make the pickups fast enough as Fender was selling the guitars.
There's not a motorway down there, is there?
I know,
so it probably takes a while to get them up to through Devon.
Hoping we don't get the same problem, but these look great. So anyway, they're cool. That's very pretty. Sort of prestige RG models now, made of beautiful new timbers, Koa. What's that one made from? I'm not sure, but it's called Nebula Greenburst, which sounds awesome. But I've ordered quite a lot of these all for Andertons, so there'll be some more info on the Andertons website. But these are all sort of limited run prestige models. While we're here, ooh, they're pretty. Yeah. They're new for. That's your thing, isn't it? Look.
This is like the 4th time we've done that gag in this video.
I know, but every time I get to an 8-string, I'm not. Everybody who plays 8-string guitar on YouTube hates me.
Really?
Because I don't understand. I can play 6-string guitars, and then I sort of understand 7-string because you just sort of go, it's like a drop D thrown in for fun, and then 8-string just goes to like. It's just a different instrument, and if you try and play 6-string,
I think it is. That's the cool thing about it, isn't it? It's like it's almost like a different branch of the tree, isn't it? That's just like, and it's huge. You know?
There was a guy, I think his name's Rob Scallon or something, that does some amazing 8-string playing where he plays kind of bar chords with one hand and taps with the other hand, and it's not your sort of like genty high gain stuff. It's really musical.
Well, obviously there's there've been jazz players who've done the 7 and 8 string things like Charlie Hunter and people like that who kind of it's that immediate assumption. People think more strings, lower notes, lower registers means metal, but it really doesn't. There's a hell of a lot of kind of experimental jazz players who've been doing it almost probably longer than the metal guys.
These are going to be nice though. I think these coming into the UK, these are going to probably be around about the £700 and £800 mark maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of like that limited Fender with the surfboard.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I like it. Never really been into this sort of thing, so sorry, whoever you are, Cameron Liddell. Sorry. This. What's a good word? How would you describe someone that decided to finish their guitar in a colour called Blood Spatter? Dexter. It's the Dexter Signature Series. Yeah. It's not really. It's one of the. It's Korn. I'm guessing is it Head's new guitar or?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is Head's signature model. I'm wondering if there's a Korn version, as I don't eat meat. Hey. Sorry. We're quite near to some drums, so we could actually get somebody to.
That's pretty. See, I'm thinking 2015. We're really seeing a resurgence in this sort of
heavy figures and all that.
Yeah, interesting new sort of a use of new woods that haven't been used before, or the heavy sort of burled finishes. I really like that. I mean, I like the colour more than the fact that it's got 8 strings on it. But that's nice. That's pretty. I'm liking also what Ibanez are doing. Very experimental with their bridges, particularly the sort of the hardtail, high mass. Should be really great for sustain and gain.
Especially there must be a hell of a lot of tension as well with the extra strings across the neck. So you probably need more of an anchor at the bottom end.
I agree. Cool. S series.
These have always, like when Ibanez have done guitars with this body shape for quite a few years now, decades now, haven't they? And it's always amazed me how thin that they managed to make the edges. It's kind of...
It's amazed you how thin they've made the edges.
Well, yeah, it really has.
Don't they just have a machine that makes it thinner?
Not, maybe edges? Not how, but the fact that it happens, I find amazing because I quite like a bulky guitar, with a lot of mass. And so when I see something like that, it's like, I don't know. I just don't know.
Someone's confused me deeply. Didn't I just put that there?
Yeah.
I think we've messed this up for Ibanez now.
They're replicating themselves. That's
anyway,
what it is.
No, it's S series. I think is a sleek-looking, nice finish. Now, I can't remember if these actually went away and have come back, or if they never went away.
I can't believe that you can't remember, because with a memorable model number like that,
it's quite amazing. The tongue, doesn't it? I love name, Stratocaster, Les Paul, RGD 2127Z, ISH. They're all such beautiful. But anyway, so the D stands for the drop tune. So these are like baritone or like extended range, extended length guitars. And I know there's a couple of new ones of these coming for 2015.
See, I kind of get the baritone thing more than I get the 8-string thing in a way, because of, you know, of like surf music and all that, and it's just a great, and you know, I just automatically think Twin Peaks if I think baritone guitar, and it's such an amazing sound.
You know, you were saying that you wouldn't play 8-string, but you'd play 9. Well, there you are. There it is for you. There it is. Yeah, well, I know. Yeah. It's like, what would Jimi Hendrix have made of that? Actually, he had enormous hands.
He'd have probably made amazing music.
He'd probably just made amazing music, wouldn't he? Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, I'm looking out for more red flashes that mean things are new, and there don't appear to be any here. No. There's some.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is something I think...
extremely affordable.
Yeah, this is something I think Ibanez do arguably better than anybody, really. If we're working on the basis that the English prices are about half what the dollar prices are,
plus a little bit, maybe.
This should come in sub £300, and there's not a lot to not like about that, is there, for that kind of money? Obviously, it's got a pretty basic hardtail on here, presumably Ibanez own brand pickups. But it's a great feeling neck, nice heel joint, looks cool. Yeah, there's not a lot to really criticise about that. Again, really easy to remember, model number, just, that'll be an instant classic. Same again, this is probably more traditional 80s kind of Ibanez with the shark tooth kind of inlays and the kind of crazy colour and the Floyd and all that kind of stuff. What's that one? Another unusual colour or silver burst kind of colour?
It's a cool colour, I like that.
More new ones. Yeah, we were talking about the burled finishes and stuff. I really like these. In fact, yes, the PB, if I remember rightly from the crib sheet, is poplar, burled poplar, something like that.
So that's what that is.
I think that's what that is, and so is that as well. Very nice. Half of me kind of wishes they would just do some of these in 6-string models because they look quite nice then. But
it's definitely an oceanic kind of vibe to that blue one there. You could just dive right in.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like
especially after 2 days at Namm.
Yeah. Especially after 10 minutes at Namm. Is there more here?
It's got a red on it.
Oh yeah.
These are cool.
See, this is another thing again. 10 years ago, you physically could not have paid people to play guitars that look like that. And you look at all the new Charvels and Kramers and Jacksons, and all of a sudden, this kind of massive 80s Larry resurgence is just like uber cool again now, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, I'm quite surprised to learn that Mike Brown from Guitarist magazine has got a signature model. Can we get that one in there? Because when Mike does YouTube videos, there's a couple of guys who are like, "Yay, Mike! I love Mike."
I know who you mean.
And there he is with his signature model. Such a young age. Well done to that chap. Well done, Mike.
So this is all some of the sort of the budget stuff that Ibanez have got with the Geo series. All very, very affordable. Great guitars for beginners. But as we're not beginners, we're going to talk about something else. Iron Label.
Yep.
Normally, Iron Label was just a black or a white guitar, and it was very much about the kind of the metal dude, and probably still is. But they've now done a range of Iron Label guitars in a walnut finish.
This might be the year of the natural wood finish, perhaps, because there's an awful lot of guitars, and not necessarily, like you said, not your predictable kind of standards.
It's not like a sunburst type, I really like, for me anyway, I've always been a fan of these kind of different kind of timbers.
I could slight sort of 1970s coffee table sort of vibe, maybe with the dark brown.
It's really light, actually. Feel that?
Yeah, that is light. And it's nearly a lot lighter when you knock the headstock off, which I definitely didn't do.
Oh, and honestly, you're worse than some of the customers I get in the shop. Did you do that as well?
No, it was already like that. It was the.
Hang on a second. Let me show you this guitar. Hang on. I'll just show you this guitar.
This is the real.
I'll just show you this guitar. It looks awesome. You won't get that gag unless you've watched the Jackson video from yesterday.
I hit the other end, by the way, so that wasn't me.
More Iron Heart. I don't like that. Do you like that?
It's quite extreme, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of that sort of.
But I love like Explorers and V's and stuff. But when they kind of,
yeah, not really my thing. Gosh, we're getting all kinds of 70s classic shapes here, aren't we?
That's kind of a sort of souped up Les Paul with 8 strings on it. I can imagine that maybe being popular with people who...
And that's Dave Burlock's sort of thing, isn't it, really? I think that's... I'll give him a bell when we finish this and tell him to whiz over, because I think that's his... it's probably his dream guitar.
But I can imagine that appealing to players who maybe want to do the 8-string thing, but they don't necessarily want something that looks quite as kind of modernistic and stuff. That's got more of a sort of hot rod Les Paul kind of vibe, perhaps. Yeah.
What have we got around here? Nothing. This is fun. This is carry on. This will be the gag. Never say we don't show bass players anything. So here you go. That's it. Enough. Right, go.
This is really cool. I know this is not necessarily going to appear at Andertons at any time, but if we're talking about guitars that are at my street, right now, this thing, particularly,
fantastic, isn't it?
It is, but it's kind of got Gretschy pickups, right, and a Bigsby on it, which any guitar with a Bigsby is 10 times as good as one that hasn't got one. That's actually a fact.
That is a
scientific
Guitarist magazine fact.
And that is unbelievably cool. I'd play that. I love the fact that it's not, it's a little bit of a bigger body, so it kind of feels like something that I could play. I love that. That's great.
Honestly and truthfully,
it's really cool.
If this price, if we're talking about these guitars being somewhere around about the 350 mark, I'm ordering these for Andertons, because that is uber cool. Like the TB Jones style pickups. Obviously it's not a real Bigsby, but it's close enough. And it's great.
Well, Bigsby has become Hoover, hasn't it? It's one of those brand names that has become the thing, right?
What colour do you like better?
I actually like that one better.
Me too, I think.
Yeah.
And they both look cool.
They're great. Really, really cool.
Yeah, you won't forget that name in a hurry either, will you?
Sorry.
Loads of great jazz guitars and bebop stuff and semi-acoustics for all your rock and roll kind of stuff. I have to say, bizarrely, I think, given that Ibanez are most famous for their kind of, shreddy metal guitars, or at least I think they are hugely successful in this kind of much more traditional.
Well, yeah, I kind of think of them as well for the stuff that they did in the 70s, because I've got a mate who's got an amazing kind of 3-4-5 style with a baritone and everything, and it's just an amazing guitar from about 1978.
Some huge jazz indoor season with George Benson, Pat Metheny, John Schofield.
Yeah. That's probably. Is that about it, do you think, for this stand?
Do you want to just call that a day?
Well,
I think so.
All I can hear is that snare drum right now.
That's the downside. Ibanez is kind of also half-owned, like Tama and Ibanez, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the downside of the Ibanez stand. There's a lot of drummers on it. Sorry, drummers.
So that's bass players, drummers, extended range guitar players. Is there anyone else, while you've got...
Who else can I offend?
Who else can you offend? You've got, 10 seconds.
Trumpet players. That's the other worst part of the Namm show, is the trumpet section.
It's not as bad as saxophone.
No, I don't mind
sax offenders.
Sax offenders. And on that note, I've been Lee.
And I've been Chris. See you later.
Official Guitarist magazine.
Yes.